Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Female obesity in America, or the West, is having an effect on men opting out of the dating scene and getting married. Let's talk about that. Remember, I just started the conversation. All you have to do is turn on the internet and you're going to get just video after video of men complaining about women or their choices of women over in the West. Their big demands, their big attitudes. But nobody ever talks about the big bodies. So I'm going to talk about that today. This is literally the elephant in the room. And let me put this disclaimer out there. We're not picking on anybody. People like what they like. I just see a direct correlation between the growing number of women over there who are suffering from obesity and the growing number of men who are opting out and coming to places like the Philippines, Thailand, other places. According to an NBC News report, America's obesity epidemic, especially among women, is only going to get worse. By 2030, you're talking about half the population suffering from obesity. And that's with a BMI, a body mass index, of 30 or higher. About 25% of those people are going to be suffering from what's called severe obesity. And that's a BMI of 40 and higher. BMI just means your body fat compared to your height and weight. Okay, right now in America, about 41% of all women are obese. These aren't my figures. And everybody knows the attitudes about big people that we have over there. Okay, so that's why I say I'm not picking on anybody. This is just a theory that I have, because we'll talk all around it. But I think this actually has a big impact. Pun intended, on why men are leaving, because I'm talking about average men. Because remember, the pool is getting smaller and smaller as the women are getting bigger and bigger. So all the men, majority of men, they're fighting for the affection or the attention of a small amount of women. And the women, on the other hand, they're doing the same thing basically. They're fighting for the 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 figures, etc. So if the average man says, hey, I don't want, if I have to settle, for Big Trudy or Big Susie, but I can go somewhere else and get something better, then I think I'm going to go somewhere else. Because the average man in America, the big women are in his dating pool, whether you want to, confess to that or not, whether you want to admit to it or not. Okay, a lot of women over there, they don't want the average man anymore. So at the end of the night, the big women start to look better. But then you see videos like mine and countless others where we're overseas living our best lives. We've got slim women, the petite. The options are a whole lot better, but we're not earning any more money. We certainly aren't looking any better. We're no more intelligent than we were over there. We're opting out. We're saying we're coming over here. We want that. So what I did to make sure it wasn't just me, I asked some of my friends to be honest. I said, be open and honest without being too brutally honest. We don't want to put down anybody because, like I said, you know how big people are looked down upon in the West, in our society. We don't want to make anybody feel worse than they already feel. But let me say this. don't feel sorry for big women either, because big women are getting everything that they want over there. Okay? It's not like they're being 100% neglected. But as the pool of women shrink and women in America and the West continue to get bigger and bigger, obesity just means having an unhealthy amount of fat. Men are opting out. They're saying, I don't want that anymore. I'm not going to settle for that anymore. Now, if somebody wants to make a video about why women don't find, big men attractive, do that. But this is something that I'm seeing, because if you look at the videos, the majority of them are men complaining about how unreasonable women are in the West, but they never talk about the size. And I think that has a lot to do with it. So I asked some of my friends to be honest. I'm going to read some of their responses to you, just to let you know that it's just not me. And their views are not my views. Okay? Because I'm just not in the game of putting people down and picking on anybody. People like what they like. Everybody has their preferences. Women don't like to date shorter men. Okay? Some women don't like black men. Some women don't like white men. They certainly don't like broke men. So here's some responses. And these are from men all over the world. Okay? I asked a guy from Thailand, I said, all of these were asked the same thing. Why don't you date big women? Okay? And his response was, the physical appearance is unsettling to me. He says, the body odor is horrible. It's not my responsibility to help them to lose weight and take better care of themselves. Now, he lives in Thailand. From the United States, opted out, went to Thailand. Out of all these 12 responses, one thing that I didn't hear was that people were concerned about the health issues that go along with obesity. See, when you carry in all that extra weight, this isn't rocket science. It causes a lot of health issues. Type 2 diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, several types of cancer have been linked to obesity. No one said anything about that. No one said that, big people give a appearance of being lazy. No one ever said that. Maybe because I told them don't be so brutal, don't be so bad, okay? But this is what he said. He's from Thailand. Okay, the next guy, he's from Arizona. He says, I had my pelvic crushed in an automobile accident. I can't have some fat woman. No, he didn't say that. Let me be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He says, I can't have some fat slob sitting on top of me. It hurts too much. They had to use the jaws of life to get me out of my car. I don't want to have to call the fire department again. Now, remember, these are their views, guys. They aren't mine. I'm just telling you that there's a correlation between the growing number of women suffering from obesity in the West and the growing number of men who are opting out of dating. They'll say, I'd rather be single than deal with that. I know I've got other options now. Okay? And I'm just showing you that what I'm thinking, my theory is, it's not crazy. Okay? So I asked some other people. The other guy says, at 6 feet, 198 pounds, I think a lady should weigh less than me. He says, I grew up in the country, and I still know the difference between a big ass and a big ass chick. He said, trust me, I've had my share of big Trudies. There's someone for everyone, but I don't want a big woman. And that's right, because like I said, without putting down big women, we're certainly not feeling sorry for them, because all you have to do is look around you and you see big women are winning over there. Okay, they're getting whatever it is they want to get out of life. But a lot of men are saying no more. We don't want that. Okay. Of all the things we talk about with the Western woman, we never talk about the weight issues because of the Me Too movement. We're afraid to be counseled. Guys, we're grown adults. We need to talk about stuff like this. Okay? I see it. Nobody else is going to tell you. It's the elephant in the room. Literally. Okay? This guy, now that guy was from Japan who said that. This guy's from Virginia. He says, fat women don't excite me. I find them less attractive. He says 95 out of 100 men would choose a healthy woman over a fat woman if they could choose. Okay, he said 95 out of 100. Okay, a lot of men were settling. They couldn't get the woman that they wanted over there. But now they're looking at these other videos and they're saying, well, hell, the Earth's 197 million square miles. Maybe what I'm looking for is out there. I don't have to be any more intelligent. I don't have to have any more money than I already have. And I certainly don't have to look better. But I can actually get the woman of my dreams somewhere else. And that's what they're doing. Okay? I'm the only one that's going to talk about this. I just want to start the conversation. I don't want to be fighting anybody anywhere like that. He's from Virginia. Guy from Georgia says, if men are honest, they will say that they don't like fat women. I don't use the word fat. Okay, I use the word big or obese, because that fat word just sounds so mean. Okay. Now, the guy from Texas, he says, I like thick women with curves, but women with big arms and fat faces are a deal breaker. This is the attitude that we have about big women now. People aren't afraid to say it anymore. Okay, big women are pushing back. The big Lizzos and things like, big is beautiful and, there's more to me than what you're seeing and, and all of that. And I believe it. I'm just testing my theory, ladies and gentlemen, okay? The guy from Atlanta says, I'm not into big women. I'm short with a little size on me. It's not a good fit, especially when we're having sex. He says, we'll break something. Okay, now he's serious about this. He's saying, I'm little already. I've got a little weight on me. These are big guys. They don't even want a big woman, okay? This guy from Seattle, he said, they're not fun to hold. If you're going to start sweating when we cuddle, or I have to engage my muscles to carry you into the bedroom, I'm not having a good time. 41% of women in the United States are obese. That's a lot. That was up 35%. Up from 35% 15 years ago. And it's already an epidemic, among the population, especially women. And they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just showing you that men, they're not attracted to bigger women. And this is one of the reasons they're getting out of there. It's not just because, she's unreasonable. Yeah, we don't want that. Or her expectations. Or she's confrontational. The big attitudes, the big demands. Yeah, all that's true. But the big bodies is really a deal breaker, ladies and gentlemen. And here's a gentleman from South Carolina. He says, big women are not sexually enticing. Their extra weight is disgusting and not conducive to an erection. Now remember, these aren't my views, okay? These are the views of the people that I asked to answer that question. Why don't you date big women? Or why did you decide to leave the United States or leave Britain or Australia? Because all of these people are not from the United States. This guy's from Oklahoma. He says, I'm attracted to a woman with a flat stomach. He says, I'm slim and I prefer slim women. Okay, that's what it's all about. It's about preferences. This is just a theory of man, a personal theory of man. People tiptoe around it. I'm telling you that guys are saying, hey, if my options are better somewhere else and my money doesn't have to be bigger, I don't have to be taller, I don't have to be any smarter, then I think I want that instead of Big Susie. This guy from Guam says, big women, they have low self-esteem and seem to have given up on themselves. He says, I like a bold, confident, and sexy woman. Okay, this is why I'm not picking on anybody. Big people in our society, they get picked on enough, made fun of enough. Look, as a black man, I know I've heard all that stuff. I've dealt with all of that. So I can relate, okay? Here's a truck driver. He says, I put on quite a few pounds over the last 10 years myself, but I still don't find big women attractive. Let's just be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Female obesity has a big impact, pun intended, on men opting out of dating and getting married in the West. As the numbers continue to grow, as women get bigger and bigger and more women are suffering from obesity. It's a direct correlation. More and more men are opting out. They're going other places. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Again, I just start the conversation. Put your comments in the comment section. Let me hear what you have to say. Do you think that's the reason a lot of men are opting out of the dating scene? Because they're not going to really say it. They're going to tell you all the other things that are wrong with women. But they're never going to say it's because they're too big. Because it's the Me Too movement. They're afraid of getting canceled. So if you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. But if you don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break, and you see somebody out in the street or wherever you see them, if you can help them without putting your life in jeopardy, help them. If you're in the Philippines, it's getting late. I mean, it's early. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody over here. Every week, we spin that wheel. We've given away over 2 million pesos. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a fortune over here. That's something I'm proud of. I'm not going to live my best life over here while people surrounding me are struggling. I'm probably the only YouTuber on here who gives half his money away. Yeah, I give half of it away. I keep the other half to live on. September the 16th, I'm walking from San Carlos City, Negros Occidental, to Dumaguete to promote fitness and to give hope to people who need hope today. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see y'all next time.